I'm here with Mr. Farage at the Turning Point USA Student Action Summit. Mr. Farage, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So what brought you to speak to these young American students across the pond? What did you want to say to them, and why did you come to this event?
I've been speaking to young conservative movements across the world for nearly 25 years, you know, and most of them are what I would describe as worthy. Mm-hmm. They're worthy, but there's no buzz.
Right.
There's often an element that's a little bit geeky about the whole thing, and so it only reaches out to a very narrow demographic.
Right.
When I first met Candace and then met Charlie, I thought there's something different here. And I was lucky enough to be invited to speak in July. They get together in DC, and I just thought, wow, look at these people, look at the energy. And I said to them on that day, be happy warriors, and they are happy warriors. So I'm back for this. I'm thrilled to be here, honoured to be invited, and looking forward to Turning Point UK opening, which it's now going to. And I'm going to go and speak at the events in the UK and try and get this moving on the other side of the pond.
That sounds like breaking news. I didn't know Turning Point UK was a thing. But
it's real. It's happening.
It's starting. But you mentioned happy warrior, and I'm a little cynical. It's hard for me to be a happy warrior. I look at what happened with Brexit, and I look at how Brexit is not happening, and I think to myself, that you have an elite government telling the people over in the UK, we don't care what you voted for.
Yeah.
We are not going to enact the will of the people. And so I start to think, and many Americans start to think here, what if that were to happen to us? And in many ways over the course of history, it has. Why do you think Brexit isn't happening, and will it happen? Because we're alarmed over here whether it'll happen.
I mean, you know, the worst case scenario is they make us vote again. And do you know what happens if we vote again? We win again. And we win bigger next time. I think the genie's out of the bottle. I think this sense of empowerment that ordinary voters have got in Middle England, in flyover states in America, this isn't going away. You know, they're excited about the fact in 2016 votes, you know, changed things fundamentally. Now look, the globalists never give up. The big money never gives up. People don't give away rank, title, privilege and position for nothing.
Right.
So it's a great battle that's going on. I'm convinced we're going to win it, but my worry is we could re-lose it 10 or 15 years down the line unless we get a younger generation coming out of schools, colleges and universities with a balanced opinion. And that's where Turning Point comes in. That's where these movements come in. We've got to stop the brainwashing of our youth, because that's what's going on.
And could you talk a little bit about your relationship with President Trump? Because I'm sure along the way he has encouraged the pro-Brexiters that should they leave the European Union, the United States will be there as a solid trade.
Well, absolutely. But yeah, but it's not just trade, is it? I mean, there's so much more to it in terms of security sharing, in terms of, you know, being the linchpins of NATO and all the rest of it. Look, you know, I was honoured to be asked to speak for President Trump during the election campaign down in Mississippi. I've been a friend and supporter of his all the way through, and listen, he's a great guy. You can't make an omelette without breaking eggs. He's breaking lots of eggs.
Right. And then my last question for you is, you recently left UKIP, and I was trying to familiarize myself with what those specific reasons were. If you could just touch upon some of the reasons.
I always wanted UKIP to be a non-sectarian, non-racist political party. Simple as that. And it was. I made sure of that. I'm afraid that in recent times, UKIP have allowed people to join it who, and we can casually use terms like the far right, but basically a group of people who bring with them associations with crime, with violence. This is not what UKIP was set up to be. For me, after 25 years in UKIP, having been the chairman of it, the campaign manager, the leader for 10 years, it was a slightly heartbreaking thing to have to do, but they've now marginalised themselves, I'm afraid, out of realistic existence.
Right. And will you be forming an alternative? Do you have any future plans to do that? Or
let's wait and see. Let's wait and see how the cards fall, what happens with Brexit. I'm not a career politician. I was a businessman. I came into this because I wanted Brexit. If Brexit gets delivered, I will be a very happy boy and I won't need to be in politics. But if they drop the ball on Brexit, they'll have me to deal with.
Well, hopefully they do Brexit, but I know that should you have to get involved,
I will.
They will regret it.
Absolutely.
Mr. Farage, thank you so much
for joining us.
Thank you, appreciate it.